Great games.
New to us.
Great games.
New to us.
Great games.
New to us.
Wait, why don't we just combine the two?
Well, oh, that's a brilliant idea. Why don't we do that on this week's Board Games and Coffee? Welcome to WiscoDice. Hey, yo, folks. I am your host, the Conesy with the Most, and I'm joined today by...
Hey, I'm Suzanne.
And today is another great games new to us board game day.
Yes, we got board games and coffee today, and I am drinking some Ariba from Just Coffee Roasters, or Cooperative.
If you'd like to be like any of these folks that are being met on screen currently, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you're drinking while you're watching this episode of Board Games and Coffee.
Yeah. Hey, Conesy, before we get into it, you're missing something.
Oh.
You haven't,
what am I missing?
You don't have a hat on. It's a little strange.
Thought it was a little cold up there. Yeah, I know I usually have a hat. I didn't have enough coffee. And I know I just said I drained a cup of coffee already. I did not have enough coffee before Board Games and Coffee. We're going to put a hat on before we start recording. And we liked our pre-intro so well, I just said, heck with it, we're going to do no hat today. So
sorry if he blinds you.
I'm sorry if the baldness blinds you. But today we're going to be talking about new games that we've played. We got 5 new games, new to us games that we've played recently that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Actually talk about actual board games on Board Games and Coffee. It's a novel idea. So if there's some new games that you've been playing, also let us know in the comments below. And while they're there, what should they do?
Oh, you should definitely smash that like button and also subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's that little bell. You can click that and all those good things. It really helps out small channels like us. So do it. Do it now. No, I meant now. Go. Do it. All right. Let's talk about new games. What's our first game on the list today?
All right. So these are in no particular order. Okay.
Well, there's a definite order, and it's in no particular order.
Well, I will say this is a great game by Office Dog Games. It's called River of Gold. It's been out for a bit.
I hope Office Dog has an office dog sitting in their office while they're doing game creation. That should literally be in their marketing campaign.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
We have
Office Dog, if you're watching this, we want to see those pictures of your office dog playtesting your games.
Yes, we have an office dog. She's hiding under the table right now. But in River of Gold, the board has a river of gold and spots where you can build buildings as you say, and you sail your ships down and you pick up stuff from the market and you deliver goods. There's 3 actions kind of that you can do, but the order that you do them and when you do them depends on your dice roll. Based on your dice roll, you can either take an action in a specific area or build in a specific area or move your ship down a specific number of spaces on the river. Mm-hmm. And it's a pretty fast moving game.
She's really good at it.
I don't know.
It's one of those games you have just intuitively figured out right off the bat and you crush everybody before you.
I don't intend to. I do enjoy it. I don't know how much overall replayability there is in it. I've only played about 3 different. We always play with the asymmetric little expansion abilities for clan abilities in it.
Sure.
And I've played 3 of them. There's like 8 of them total. So I need to play it at least 5 more times. I need to play it 5 more times. But what caught my eye, this is really silly, the first time was that the insert is just really shiny gold.
It's terrible for actually putting the game back in the box.
It is, it all falls out, but it looks so pretty when you open. I mean, if you keep your boxes flat, we stack ours on the side.
I do want to see if there's a video or something out there where somebody's actually figured out how that insert's supposed to work. But yeah, it's everybody. That's one thing. Like everybody's like, it's this really cool insert, but when you put the game back in the box, the insert doesn't work.
It's perfect if you keep it flat.
I still don't think it's that. Like we can't get the box properly closed.
Yeah, I suppose. But anyway, I'm hesitant to make a new insert for it because I like the shiny gold. There is some gold like foil embellishments on the board too. But bling aside, everyone who's played it with me has enjoyed the game immensely.
Production quality is really good on this game, and the art's really good. And if you like an Oriental theme, Usually not kind of my stick as far as board games, so I kind of held off from playing it. But when you saw it at Misty Mountain Games, and you literally hugged it, and I know you were joking. I know you were joking, but you literally hugged it after you had played it once already.
Yes.
And it was just like, okay, we'll get it. And that was a clear, like, I know she's joking, but she also really wants this game in her collection. So I'm like, okay, we got it. We brought it home. I played it. I'm like, wow, this is actually a really fun game. So definitely check out River of Gold from Office Dog.
Yes. All right. What is the second one on our list?
Second game on the list is going to be Harmonies from Libelud. This is a game I think you were a Kickstarter backer on.
I actually didn't. I missed the Kickstarter backer.
Okay.
I played it on BGA, and I was like, Ben Conesy needs this game.
Okay. Now, I don't remember. Actually, I'll be honest. I remember the box, but I don't remember how this game works.
So this game, you are drafting. So you're building this like forest, and you have these circle tiles.
Yeah.
And they represent different elements in the forest.
Yeah, but then you're like stacking up levels of the trees and stuff like that. Isn't that right?
And there's restrictions on what can go on top of what, and then you have these kind of goal cards on what you need to make patterns of. And then once you make the pattern, you mark off, and depending on how many times you're able to make that pattern, the scoring, the points you score for that card increase exponentially.
Right. You're trying to basically make like a harmonious ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's Harmonies. So it is like one of those like nature games. There's been a lot of those like nature eco games out lately.
It's a very abstract one though.
Yeah, it's abstract. It's more of a like, I don't know. I mean, I felt like I really like it. It feels highly thematic though when you're playing.
Yeah,
it. Like,
because
you
you are
do
building
feel
stuff.
like you're building this forest. You know, your trees are getting taller. You're, I felt like I was immersed into the experience, and I did lead this off with like, oh, I don't really remember this game. I only played it once, and it was a little while ago. So, like, while this isn't new to us games, this has been probably 2 or 3 weeks ago when I played it. We haven't had a chance to get back to the table.
But I'm sure we will, and I know it's one that our daughter will play with us, whether she wants to or not, because he needs to experience it with more than just the two of us playing, or we're going to get it to a game day or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely, I think we've hauled it out to a couple of game days already. It just hadn't gotten to the table yet. And I don't know if that's because people have kind of run their gambit on eco games, or if this one's just not hit everybody's radar a whole lot.
Well, the box art is a little muted too, and
maybe that's an upcoming topic for Board Games and Coffee. If you'd like to see us talk about box art and how that impacts people's orientate to one game or another, let us know in the comments below. We might be doing that in a future topic.
Yeah. But anyway, that's Harmonies.
All right.
Definitely one to check out. And I should say it plays well at 2 players, or online at least it plays good at 4 too.
Yeah. And that's Harmonies from Libelud. So,
yes.
I'm going to say that one. That's why she wanted me to say that, because she can't say Libelud.
I always pronounce it wrong.
Our next game on the list is
Dog Park by Birdwood Games.
Not to be confused with the actual dog park you take your dogs to.
Yes. And in this one, you are a dog walker, and you have a dog kennel, and you collect things to put in your kennel. And
you collect doggies to put in your kennel.
You collect doggies. You get dogs. You mark it and get some dogs come to your kennel.
You got to make the doggies happy.
Yes, you have to make them happy. They need certain things. You take them for walks in the park, and you collect like treats and balls. And in the expansion, you can even teach them some tricks. And you collect these dogs, and you walk through the park.
Yeah, so this game isn't necessarily super new, but it has a new expansion that came out. We had never played it before, but we happened to talk to the designer at Gen Con. Yeah, we talked to the designer for this one at Gen Con. They kind of talked it up a bit, and then we went at another local game store, the one over in
Game Haven.
Game Haven. We went and saw it on the shelf, and we were like, we don't have this one. We're kind of curious about it, so we picked it up, and we picked up the expansion and played it. Yeah, it's just a number of tracks, and it's pretty kind of base. There's definitely some interesting stuff going on in the game. Like, you're definitely having to think through it.
Like, how quick do you want to end your walk? Because that forces everyone else to.
And what you're collecting and the resources you're collecting, and you're managing those. They're basically the different toys or treats or whatever. There's one other resource, I don't remember what it was. in the game that you're kind of trying to balance, and you're trying to get those, because you need to acquire those to be able to make your dogs happy, right? Certain breeds of dog that you're going to be taking for these walks, like to play more, so you might need or like to fetch more, so you might need more balls to make them happy, or you might need more treats to make them happy if they're more food orientated. So, I just love the fact that it's a dog game, right? There's dogs. There's so many board games in this industry that are cat orientated. And I know I love kitties too. Suzanne's allergic, so we can't have any kitties. We do have our wonderful little Orla, and it's nice to be able to play a game with dogs in it. So, and this one does. There's plenty of game, but it's definitely not at that over complex level. So you can definitely play this with a fam. Play this with.
You can almost play it with some very intro gamers, board game curious people, because you are following a path.
There's nothing mechanically more complicated than say in a game of Clue or even Monopoly to an extent.
But it is fun. It's got its own little spin, and one actual bonus too with it is it's got information on different dog breeds, and it's got pictures of different dog breeds. So if you're into having that little bit of learning or kind of getting some information about what classes different dogs are in, hey, that's fun too. It's an extra bonus.
That is Dog Park from Birdwood Games.
All right, what's number 4? This is a surprise for you.
Oh, this is a
surprise game, not a surprise on the list.
Surprise that I like it as much as I do. So the game is Wyrmspan. Maybe you've heard of it. I don't know. It's a small little game.
It's been out for a while. Finally got to play it.
Not too long, about a year, I think. From Stonemaier Games. I think it came out. I think it was a 2025 release. I think it was January, February.
Oh, we're
release.
in 2024 right now.
2024 release.
Wow,
so.
He can go to the future, people.
We're really close to 2025. So Wyrmspan is basically the successor to the ever popular Wingspan. Now, folks that know me will know that I'm not the biggest fan of Wingspan. I enjoy the game. If somebody brought it and wanted to play it, I'd definitely play Wingspan. Mm-hmm. But
we do not own a copy.
We don't own a copy. We've played it a couple of times now. We've played it on BGA. Wingspan it felt too much for me, it feels too much like you're playing by yourself, and then the theme doesn't really capture me either.
Yeah.
But I see why people love it. So I'm not dinging Wingspan. It's just not a game
I'll just say
I'm
with Wingspan, I have it on Steam, and I like playing it solo on Steam. I actually play it quite a bit solo on Steam, so...
Exactly, that kind of feels every time I play Wingspan, it just the table seems to get really quiet. Nobody's talking with each other. It's but they're all just kind of doing it. And I'm not really paying attention to what anybody else is doing. So I'm not really feeling any pressure. And I'm going to say this carries over to Wyrmspan.
Yep.
But the thing that for me makes Wyrmspan more interesting than Wingspan, besides the fact that they removed some random dice rolling and things like that, which I was fine with in Wingspan. I know a lot of people don't like that. Dice rolling's
always good.
Yeah, I mean, it's in our name, right? With Wyrmspan, what I really like about it is the fact that there's all this cool dragon art, and you got dragon caves, and you're collecting dragons. And for me, thematically, that captures my interest. And it's amazing how these two games mechanically work very similar.
Yep.
But one I don't really gravitate towards, and the other one I'm like, let's play. I want to play this game.
Yeah, so Wyrmspan has a couple things that it has not improved upon, updated from Wingspan. Mm-hmm. So you have caves that you have to dig into and explore to be able to put your dragons in there. So in Wingspan, it's just you got your habitat and they can all just go in the habitat. You don't need to fix it. And those caves then give you abilities when you put them down. And then you can explore the caves. There's an action to explore caves, which lets you always have a way to get some resources, which is one thing that I struggle with in Wingspan is the resources, but I always struggle with resources. So you have that. And then, I think those are and then there's also mechanisms to get more coins, dragon coins to get, which is how you track your turns.
How many actions?
And and how many actions you get in a round. And I mean, I've had a round where I just kind of kept going and going and going because you can chain them all together. Oh, and then it's also got the little track in the center. It's not a clan track. I'm blanking on the name right now. But there's a track in the center that you go around and that can get you some bonuses every time you get halfway around it or all the way around it.
Kind of like the old dice roll, but now it's a track. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's some enhancements to Wyrmspan. Like Wyrmspan was the first version of the game. This is Wyrmspan 2.0, and the birds have turned to dragons, and they have a glossary of dragons, so you can learn all about the history of these dragons that you're playing.
Yeah,
which is fictional.
It is.
I believe.
It is.
I don't know that. I mean, unless Stonemeyer knows something that we don't know.
Yeah, I mean the stick is like really like for me it's amazing how much a different theme on basically the same game engine can change a game experience and an interest in a game, and that really shows. Like when I don't want to ding, like if you love Wyrmspan, absolutely go love Wyrmspan.
Oh, we got lots of friends who love Wyrmspan.
The theme just doesn't do it for me, and as such, I'm not interested in the game. And what I discovered is, mechanically, this is very much the same game, right? It's Wyrmspan is much the same game, but theme, all of a sudden I'm all in, right? I want to play this game, and I've played it multiple times since I got introduced to it.
And I'll say for me, I like good theme on a game. It does draw my attention, but theme is not as important to me as the actual gameplay, because basically, as most of you know, if it's a game, I'll play it.
I think that is now your new tagline.
If it's a game, I'll play it. And I love birds, though. So part of me wants to get Wyrmspan just to have.
I could see Wyrmspan.
It would be a solo game
to the collection. I don't know if it'd be a solo game.
I would play it solo a lot.
But I think there's players that come to our game nights that would appreciate Wyrmspan as well.
I guess I would share. All right.
So that is Wyrmspan from Stonemeyer Games. Next up is Nunatak, Temple of Ice from Cosmos and local game designer
Kane Klinkos.
Yep.
Yes.
So Kane, if you're watching this, hey, thanks for teaching her how to play this game, and thanks for bringing it to Strong Tower Gaming Convention and showing other people how to play it, because it caught my eye and I immediately called it out when she had availability to go demo it with you for this game. So we did get a did get a demo with
at a local
designer.
Game store on board in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yep, he was there, and there was quite a crowd clamoring to get some demos of this game, and I was like, I need to buy it. Like, there was no question after I played it once.
Of the games on this list, this is the #1 top game for table presence. It looks like people will see this from across the room. Yeah,
this blows the gold out of the water.
Is a far second, and it's got an amazing table presence too.
Yes,
like this game pops because what you're doing is you're getting, like, every player has a different color, like these that represent ice
blocks,
cubes, ice blocks, and you're building them into a multi-tiered pyramid, basically. So you're working up. You have to work up the bottom tier, and once you get like 4 ice blocks down, then you can put a tile on top of that, and now you can start building on top, putting ice blocks on the next level, and you keep going up until I think it's 4 tiers.
4 or 5.
4 or 5 until you get to the top. And so as this thing gets built up, and it takes about an hour to play this thing, as this thing gets built up,
quick though.
Yeah, the presence looks quick. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like,
you're going. Yeah, 4 players.
Max. I've got to say, like, it was definitely eye-catching. I would say it was definitely one of those games that at Strong Tower, where I originally saw this, like, because it had such pop, everybody at the convention noticed it, right?
Yeah, they're like, these ice blocks are these like translucent plastic blocks that you're placing, and the cards that make up the pyramid bases of each level are really nice because they have dedicated spots in them where the blocks fit in. So unless you really hit your table, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's very stable.
Yep. And then you have this river of cards where you are drafting different cards on your turn that then you play. And they give a hand of cards and you can play one.
Right, and that's effectively where you can put your ice block, right?
Yep, and it's going to tell you where you put your ice block, and depending on, you don't have a hand of cards, sorry. You have make a tableau in front of you that you play, of the cards that you played. And that's what scoring is. So each type of card is different, has different scoring components. Like if you have a certain number or
river of cards that are like, that's at the open market, and those are the cards that dictate where you can put your tile. Yep. Your ice block is the card you can get, and then your card goes into your tableau, and eventually at the end of the game, based on the different counts of cards you have, you get different points for them or different bonuses at the end.
And there's some other scoring cards, like extra private scoring cards in there, and then there's like some group scoring things, like whoever has the most on the outer edges. And when you're done, when you're scoring this, with how it's constructed, you can just stand up and look straight down and be able to figure out all the scoring that you need to for endgame scoring. There's no taking it apart to see what's in the middle or what's where. I mean, it's just...
There's a lot of clever design work in getting this three-dimensional game to function as well as it does. But from you sitting in the player seat, it's very straightforward and obvious, or I wouldn't say obvious like what you want to do on your turn, but it's very straightforward to learn how to play. And you're done in like an hour. It's a great game experience. I love it. I will say, like, there are so many of these games that are like in that about that 1 hour mark that don't have like a ton of like massive complexity to learn, that especially now as a reviewer and content creator in this space, that I am getting to be more and more appreciative, because I can catch on to the game right away. I can play it. I can get that full game experience in 1 or 2 plays, and I keep wanting to get it back to the table. And this is definitely one of those games where I want to, I'm pointing at the paper like people can see it on the camera. I'm really liking this game, and I really want to play it again. And unfortunately, I haven't gotten a chance to play it at more than 2 players. We just have only gotten to play it. You've gotten to play it a couple of times at full player counts. I have not.
And it's one that when you are... when it's completed, you feel like you've accomplished something, and you feel like you're ready for the game to end, because it guides you to that ending. It's not an abrupt ending. You do have to pay attention to be competitive in this game. You have to kind of pay attention to what the other players are collecting and taking. So it can't be a total solo game, because you're not going to get the points at the end, because someone else, some things it's, hey, what are they scoring that they're going to have more points in that category? Or what have they been collecting?
Oh, yeah.
So there's player interaction that way. Even though people may take the spot you want, you're not out.
Oh, no.
Like there's always somewhere that, at least in the games I play, there's always somewhere that you can go.
Yeah, that ice block placement, like it becomes, do I place where it's probably best for me, or do I place where I'm blocking for somebody else because I know they're trying to do this? Like, you have to pay, like... Unlike the last one where you're kind of playing a solo game by yourself with other people at the table, this one you're definitely like very much interacting with everybody else to be successful at the game, because not necessarily because it's that critical to what you're doing, but it's that critical to slowing them down so that you can do and outdo what they're doing. Is really kind of thing, which is really what I like about like Nunatak. It's not a take that game, but it is definitely hey, I'm going to put my ice block there because I don't want you to complete that set of 4 and get the extra bonus. Kind of thing, which is a nice way to kind of put in that player interaction without it being like, hey, I just nuked off your 4 pieces off the board.
Yeah, and it's a little bit like River of Gold is too, where you are playing your own game, but where you are placing your buildings, you're trying to either keep other people from getting those spots, or where you're predicting that people are going to land. So, you know, both of these games, they're in that hour time frame kind of. And
I think River of Gold's probably got a hair more game to it. But
it does, but they're both kind of similar, where you have player interaction without direct conflict.
Exactly.
You know, where Dog Park, Harmonies, and Wyrmspan are all varying levels of somewhat solo gameplay with others there with minimal
I
interaction.
am interested to see how Harmonies works when you have 3 or 4 players.
Yes,
We've only played
because
it at 2, and it just kind of
yeah.
felt like we went 2 different sides of the boards. I think with 3 or 4, it's going to be.
It was real easy to be like, I want this. I'm mainly going to get this. So.
All right.
Yeah,
so
those
that's
are
5 games that are new to us, right?
Yep. And let us know what games you have been playing that are new to you that you think we should check out, because I'm going to say our Looking for Players table is getting a little
starting to bow.
Well, it's got we could fill in some spots, just make sure it's level all the way across. It's got to be
by the level. She means 3. She's going to increase it from 3 feet deep to 4 feet deep.
Well,
to see if she can break that folding table.
The table's 3 feet up. The piles are taller, or my height are taller than me, and I'm 5'4". So I need to keep them where I can barely reach it.
There are a lot of actually big boxes on that table right now that we need to get some. There's some big box games. So we will be looking forward to getting some more new to us games to the table very soon to help get that Looking for Tables player cleaned up. But if your Shelf of Shame or Looking for Players table or whatever it is stacking up, let us know that as well. Until next time,
send us the pictures.
Yeah, send us the pictures. My cupboard has run dry. Your cupboard is getting
almost there.
I always drain it faster than you do.
I drink coffee
All
slow.
right. Well, thanks for watching.
Hey there, it's Conesy. Thank you so much for watching. We put out videos weekly here at WiscoDice. Check out our channel for more great videos, and don't forget to subscribe. We also have more great content on our website at WiscoDice.com. Of course, we do this all for you, the viewers, so please like the video if you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.